get started here. Tonight we're investigating a home that is 119 years old, and tonight we have Deanna Jackson Stinson, myself, Paul Dale Roberts, Christina Vonasak, Mike Ulan, Justin Mather, and Michael Pushek. And we have some other investigators that will be here. So right now we're going to talk to one of the occupants. Sir, can you state your name?
Ron Mullins.
Ron?
Yep.
How long have you lived here?
We moved in here in August 1st, 1998.
Okay.
So like 22 years?
Yeah. And this home has a different name, correct?
Now, well, we did a little research, and this kind of area is referred to as Strawberry Manor.
Okay.
In the old days, the building next to us is almost identical. Where did you get 119 from?
Oh, somebody told me that.
Was it Keith?
I believe so.
Okay, well, we don't actually know that number for a fact.
Okay.
I was curious if you had done some backstory and found for sure. It's believed to have been built right around the turn of the century, and there's been a newspaper found in the basement that was 1901. But we haven't actually looked into records and found the exact date it was built. But so when we moved in here, it was me and two ladies and another guy who was kind of a hippie guy, and I'm kind of a hippie guy. We like the backyard, and it was a good price. The landlord's kind of hands off. He fixes when we complain, but we don't complain a lot. We fix a lot of stuff ourselves. So I think that's how we've kind of maintained a relationship. But they bought it from an owner who had allowed it to be run as brothel. And this was a brothel, and the house next door was a brothel. And the landlord's mother, who bought it, I'm trying to remember her name now. She's dead now. But she always liked this house. And she tells a story about buying it from the guy died, and there was an estate sale, and the madam who ran it offered her some insane amount of rent, that like from the 70s, more than we're even paying now, to keep the brothels here, but they didn't want them, and so they threw them out. She said it's been a lot of things over the years, frat house, and various things. So when we moved in, I was kind of on a part of a spiritual journey of my own. I was living in an apartment, and I was learning to practice various types of Celtic pagan magic and stuff, and found not having any outdoor. Is that my phone?
Zandy, we're in a briefing. Come on in. Oh, here, talk to Zandy.
So one of the things was we didn't have any. I had an apartment nowhere outside to work. So when we found this place with the yard, one of the first things we started doing, we built a fence, and we started mapping the ley lines and tapping some of the stone areas and doing a very Celtic pagan tending and curating of the yard. And one of the things that we do is we smudge and do various pagan rituals to drive away negative spiritual entities and to preserve and welcome and cherish positive spiritual entities. Honestly, we haven't done any kind of reset since the last group of people moved out, so you might find some bogeys still around. I need to really get on top of that, because there was some let's just say some tortured souls staying here for a minute this last couple months. So who knows what she left. But we generally try to keep a positive, and we call it New Avalon. And the idea was that we try to pull this physical space from the front door. If you look over the door, you'll see outside there's a staff over the door. That's to the cardinal direction of the south, placed there in a pagan ritual. When you go down the stairs and you go over to the brick wall outside, you'll see a cup embedded in the wall. That's to the west. On the back fence, we have a goddess disc, and then we have the sword over here. And that those sentinels create this area that we feel separates it from the real world. So when you step through the threshold of the house, like you know the story of Avalon, it lives in both the real world and the fairy world. That's what New Avalon is. You're partially in the fairy world or the other world. The two worlds combining, you're right in the middle. That was the reason we named it that. And the priestesses that worked with me, that built the Ring of Stones, that was our purpose. Now you're going to find it's kind of waned from that because there's not a lot of practitioners been through here. We haven't had rituals heavily a lot, but I still think the spells holding, the protection spells holding, and I do feel a new wave of spiritual energy that's probably going to be coming through here. But we've never had any validation or quantification from any kind of scientific measuring of all this stuff I just told you. This is all our own religious practice. But yeah, that's just the essential background. I wanted you to know we believe this is a place, and people say they come through and they feel, oh, I feel different, I feel lighter, I feel like, especially when we're doing intent and we set the spell, and then if you go out into the Ring of Stones and you follow the ritual, the medicine wheel ritual, Keith will probably show you, and you walk sunwise in the Ring of Stones, you'll feel that is like the apex of the portal, and the apex of the energy is drawn at that center stone right there.
And Ron, some of the apparitions that are in here, what have you or your roommates experienced?
Oh, well, we've had some crazy stuff when we're doing ritual out in the back, mostly positive, harmonious stuff. We've had roommates who were struggling with issues. I don't know. Weird stuff, like a candle that was supposed to go out that suddenly started burning brighter and brighter and brighter and enveloped the whole, it was on video, we were all sleeping, and it enveloped the whole cage that it was in and then went out before we woke up. That was a really weird, like, physical manifestation.
And Deanna, when she came over here, she picked up on a entity that was a woman, and one of your roommates validated that there was a woman that I think interrupted his sleep.
Right. I think there's a lot of feminine energy here. We've done a lot of goddess work. I also think there's probably maybe past tenants, spiritual energy. I think that's a lot of people talk about seeing a woman. I see lots of them around here.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think that's probably one of the more hanger-on-er ones. But we always are trying to manifest and bring the positive female energy too, and I think that's a lot of it.
And then we got a male voice EVP in the basement. So who do you think that might be?
I don't know. Merlin? Do a lot of Merlin path working. I don't know. I'd have to hear. I don't know of any real just kind of like dead people that are hanging around here that much. A lot of fairies, silk energy, angelical energy. Sometimes.
So you may, since there is a ley line here, you may have opened a portal, allowing elementals to come through that portal into this home, correct?
We intentionally opened a portal in the back in the Ring of Stones, and it's where it's almost, I kind of liken it to, I mean, they don't necessarily come out of there unless we want them to, but yeah, definitely. But I think the portal energy was here. We just kind of reinforced it and made it more intentional.
Well, that's good. In search of elementals.
I also kind of believe the house itself is almost sentient in the way like the island in Lost, where like it draws people here for purposes. I've seen roommates come here to resolve issues, a lot of work on spiritual growth, learn things, change things, and yeah, so maybe you guys are part of that too.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Ron. I think we covered everything. Anybody wants to ask anything? Or
No, we did.
Yeah?
That pretty much covered everything.
Okay. All right.
But definitely show them all the sentinels You guys can touch them if you want to, and
I have to touch everything.
the Ring of Stones.
Okay, cool.
Show them how to go in the Ring of Stones.